guys, today we're going to talk about vlogging over 30, which technically I'm not yet.
Really?
But I'm going to be.
Yes.
It felt like, it's not the same like vlogging over 29.
I don't sound the same.
There was actually an article in Red this month and they talked about how there was kind of a gap in the market for vloggers over 30. And we thought that was pretty interesting. It's obviously something people are talking about, and we thought we would talk to you guys about it, how we feel as older vloggers in the community.
Although for you, I suppose, because you're nearly 30, you started mid-20s, didn't you?
Yes.
Do you feel it's changed? Do you feel...
I mean, I think it would be different if I'd started when I was a regular 25-year-old. But because when I was 25, I'd already had a lot of life experience that people of 25 don't normally have. I'd been married, I'd had a child, I had a house, all those different things that a lot of people that are reaching that age maybe haven't even moved out of home now.
Yeah.
It's like that's kind of the way that things are working. And so I never really felt young. I always felt a little bit old for the YouTube community compared to everyone that was still in school or in university that were doing it and like vlogging out of their bedroom. I always felt really strange. So I never really felt like I was a young vlogger. I always kind of felt a little bit out of place. But I think things have changed.
Yeah.
I think it's completely different now.
I think it's a mixed bag. I mean, you're going to get the teenage vloggers that teenage people will want to watch because they relate to them.
Yes.
I think people over 30 relate to people like us.
Yeah.
And that's why they watch. I mean, if you think about your demographic, my demographic is 25 to 35.
Yeah, if not older.
Yeah. So there is a market out there and people want to see what's going on in your life when you're a certain age, I suppose.
Yeah, and I find that people of that age, people that demographic, are not the same kinds of people. Like when I first started, I think a lot less people of that demographic were watching YouTube videos. And so although people were, and I still had those people viewing, that could kind of vaguely relate to me and my situation at the time, I feel like it was a lot of very, very young people, and I think that's where the whole YouTube hate thing came from. And that's why it's not the same now. When, like 5 years ago, it was very volatile on YouTube, and some people still get a lot of like mean comments and stuff, but I don't think it's the same at all now. I think that we've got a really good mix of age range and life experience and just personal situations that makes it not so volatile. It's more of a community, more of an actual balanced discussion.
No, I agree. I do agree.
You don't get people just like trolls. You don't just, it feels like the trolls are so much more outweighed by regular people just there that actually want to share things and talk and discuss stuff. And I think that's the biggest change, is that older people have discovered YouTube videos. And so it's just generally a nicer place to be, and you feel a bit more like you can make videos that you want to make instead of having to make them the same as every other person.
Yeah. Well, everybody's life is different, aren't they?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a different life, and I like that about YouTube because I like to step into each person's life. Do you know what I mean? Find out a bit about them.
The same as yours.
No, but for me, I don't watch younger YouTubers because I don't relate to them. I watch older YouTubers of my age and older because I relate to them.
Yeah. See, I tend to watch people that are my age, or at least my age, because again, people of my age generally don't have 2 children, married twice. It's not that I've always felt like about 40. I feel like 35 will be my year. I felt like I was just getting some bonus years because I never really had a youth in the same way as other people. And so when I watch other people, I like people 40s and up.
Yeah.
And so I think lots of people feel like they're too old for YouTube, and I think that's not the case at all.
No.
There's definitely a market for it. If you wanted to start out and you think you're a little bit too old, I don't think that's the case.
No.
It felt like it 5 years ago, but now there's someone that will watch.
But also, you change so much. I've changed so much since my 20s to my 30s, so my opinions are going to change as well.
Yeah,
and I think that reflects over YouTube because of the things I watch or because of the things I produce, I suppose.
Yeah. God, I mean, how you feel about things. I remember when I had Ella and I was 19, I remember wanting to write down everything. Things like how old kids should be when they wear makeup, things that when you're growing up are really important to you and you think your parents are being really strict and it's not fair and all that stuff. And I remember thinking, I want to write down everything now as I feel as a teenager, for me to remember when I'm older, when Ella's a teenager. Every opinion I had when I was 19 is completely different now. And you wouldn't think that. When you feel like you're as old as you're ever going to be. You feel like you're so mature and you're so grown up. But you aren't old.
No, life changes. And I think it'd be quite interesting to watch how the younger YouTubers progress, and as they get older,
see how they change.
Because for me, I'm starting in my 30s YouTube, so for me, I feel like I don't know if I'm going to change between now and 40. I might. Do you know what I mean? But I think that.
But right now, you feel like you'll think what you think right now for the rest of your life.
Yes.
These are my opinions. This is how I feel about life. This is how I think things should be. But in 10 years, you might be like, I knew nothing.
It might be completely different. But that's what I'm kind of interested to find out how the younger YouTubers will be in another 10 years' time.
Yes. And whether or not they.
And whether they will start watching different things because they're in a different stage in their life.
Yeah.
We're at different stages in our life, aren't we? So that's why you watch videos that are relatable to yourself.
Yeah.
So you think that when you were younger it was harder?
It was harder to... There was a very specific box that you had to fit into to make YouTube videos.
Okay.
People would talk about lighting, the length of videos. The length of videos, I've realised recently, I will still say, it's a really long video, just prepare yourself, if you don't like long videos, blah, blah, blah. People don't mind anymore. I get very, very few comments saying, oh, I hate long videos, or why aren't your videos shorter? Once upon a time, that was like every other comment. Yeah. I only want videos that are less than 10 minutes. And now people watch it in a totally different way. We're watching YouTube as a replacement to TV. Yeah. It's an entertainment source. Mm-hmm. And so the difference between YouTube 5 years ago and YouTube now is massive because people are sitting down to watch you talk about whatever it is you're going to talk about.
For however long.
They're not sitting down to learn something from you necessarily. Mm. Whereas then, they wanted to know something specific from you from that video. Mm. And it had to be a how to do this, and if it was rubbish, you would be mauled. Mm. Whereas it's not the same. I don't watch people for... I'll find specific videos like if I want to know something.
Yeah.
But the people that I watch on a regular basis, they could repeat themselves in every single video. I don't watch them. I like them. Mm. And they just talk... It doesn't matter what they're talking about. If they're doing... I like the people that chat throughout the video.
Yeah.
And I don't really care if they're talking about something I'm not interested in. I'll still listen to them talk.
Because you want to watch them.
Yeah, and it's a completely different way of watching YouTube. And as a result, people are... Well, they're just expecting something different from the videos, and they're not as... judgmental, I suppose. Mm. Not as, critical.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's an easier time to be on YouTube. But because there are so many people doing it, it's also harder to build up your viewership.
Yeah. But you know what also, I think, vlogging over 30 for me, because I just started as, I suppose, in my 30s, I don't feel competitive.
No.
Do you know what I mean? No. For me it's just a hobby because I've got my career, I've got my life, if you like, and it's just a hobby.
And you're not competing with as many people in your age range.
Oh, I suppose not, because there is a gap in the market, I suppose.
Yeah.
But like I say, for me, it's never been a competitive thing. Where I feel that a lot of younger YouTubers, it's quite competitive.
Especially the up and coming ones that are getting a lot of deals, getting book deals and stuff. Everything feels very, very tightly knit into. They're all in competition, almost direct competition with each other because they're launching things at the same time, beauty ranges and stuff, and that's all great. It's fantastic that they get to do that.
Do you know what? If you're given that opportunity, take it, grab it with both hands. It's great, but
it feels like they're all bringing out the same thing at the same time for the same audience, and that is a lot of competition. Mm. You've all got the same demographic, and you are all kind of clawing for that same thing. So it must feel completely different, and I don't know how...
Do you not think it feels samey though?
Well, I wouldn't watch everyone that did the same.
But then I suppose for us, because we're of that age range, I don't really want to buy a makeup bag or from a particular... Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not of that...
Some of it is marketed at tweens, for sure.
Yeah.
Fangirl age range. But some of it's not. I mean, some of it is still very much relevant to us. It's just we would go more for a product that we actually liked or a book that we actually liked. I wouldn't go out and buy something specifically because a particular YouTuber had released it. It would be because I also liked it. Mm-hmm. There are certain YouTube
Depends
books
on the content.
Yeah.
Depends on the content. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
I wouldn't for example, Zoella's book. Whether she wrote it or not, I don't really care. But I wouldn't buy that because it's a novel, and it's a novel that is kind of aimed at teenagers. Mm. So just because I could be her biggest fan, but I wouldn't buy it because it's not really aimed at me.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Fleur de Force's book was actually quite good. Reminded me a lot of the Lauren Conrad beauty and fashion books. It was her, but it was her voice and it was her tips, but it wasn't like pushing her, if you know what I mean. I felt like she'd written it throughout and it was her voice. And that was more of a book that I felt was aimed at my age range. And it is just what is appropriate and what is relevant to you, I suppose. But I from the actual competitive perspective, I think that our demographic, our age range, are a lot more like a community.
Yeah.
More support each other.
Yeah, I agree.
They just want to help each other out and they want to boost each other
Yeah.
rather than kind of tear each other down, which you sometimes see between some of the younger YouTubers. Not a lot of them, not all of them. But
again, that's an age thing.
It
And
is.
It's totally an
and
age
we probably
thing.
would have done it. It's
Yeah.
there are things that I did as a teenager and things I said and the way that I treated friends and stuff, and we treated each other. It's a teenage thing, and
But I think in our age, it's like I say, it's a nicer community.
Yeah.
It's much nicer because everybody's grown up.
yeah,
Do-
completely.
You know.
Yeah, I work with a couple of teenage girls, and the things that they tell me always make me laugh, and they think I'm like 100.
Soon.
I mean, I listen to Radio 2 now, so I'm obviously getting there.
I listen to Radio 2. There's
Fantastic.
nothing wrong with Radio 2.
I love a bit of Radio 2.
Yes.
So I feel about 100 as well now, but the things that they talk about, the things they think are so important, and I'm just like,
Not important.
don't worry about it. It's not as important as you think that it is.
But at the time,
yes,
it
at
is.
the time it is. So I'm not saying anything negative about younger YouTubers at all. I just feel like I'm glad I wasn't doing it as a teenager, because it would be hard. It would have been harder. Especially when the trolls and stuff were really rife. That would be really difficult to deal
I
with.
don't think I would be able to cope with trolls
No.
if I was younger. I wouldn't. I would have took everything to heart. It just would have dragged me down. Whereas now, I'm of an age where it's like, you don't like me, so what?
That's definitely something that's changed for me over time. As I've gotten older, I've just been like, why was I ever even worried about this thing? Because things do build up more, and the older you get, the more perspective you get, I think, of what's important and what's not important. But yeah, for me, vlogging over 30 is more about freedom. And freedom. Little plug there. Freedom. It's more about that, and more about you can just be yourself.
Yeah.
And if people don't like it, they don't watch.
Yeah.
You're not, you know.
Well, it kind of echoes the video that we did about perfection. It totally does, because when you're younger, you want everything to be perfect, don't you?
Yes.
Whereas now it's like, you take me as you find me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it just feels, nicer. I always kind of felt like YouTube maybe had a shelf life for me. I would probably blog forever, but YouTube I felt like was a very young people space.
It's not.
And it's not. It's totally
It's not.
changed and grown.
Yeah.
And it's
I watch bloggers that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s even. DT Benefits, hello, she's like 70s, isn't she?
But you want to see
You want to watch them.
You want to think that in like 30, 40 years time, you're not just going to completely forget about everything that you enjoyed now, that you're still going to be yourself. And so I like to see older people, and I like to see people with kind of older kids and people living a life that I might live in the future. It's kind of aspirational, and people that live in different countries, I really like that as well, like daily vlogs.
Yeah.
Where you see different kinds of
lives.
lives and stuff. But yeah, I think it's great, and I think that if you are over 30, or just like a slightly older vlogger or blogger or whatever,
Don't be put off.
YouTube is for everyone, whether you're a viewer or a content creator. And yeah, if you do start out, good luck. Send us your links, we will retweet. And we'll see you guys next time.